Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to SUVtv, the sports utility vehicle. I'm Cam Whetstone. Alongside me, Daryl LeBerry.
What's going on, man? How you doing today? I'm looking forward to this game today. This is going to be a good one.
I'm doing fantastic here. We're coming to you live from the Fertitta Center in Houston, Texas, as we get set for a matchup between Ipsy Prep and the hometown Legacy Titans here today. Ipsy Prep from Detroit, Michigan, starting this one 1-2 in their inaugural season. They dropped their first two games early last month. The team sizzle in Duncanville, yet picked up a win to ISA in Ohio recently for their last game. So what have we seen so far, and what can we expect out of them tonight?
Ipsy Prep obviously is led by their marquee guy, EMONI BATES, who is arguably as good as anyone in the country. And then, he has a bunch of other guys that are kind of trying to find their way playing with a superstar player. Dylan Hunter has to play well tonight. He's a five-star guy out of Atlanta, young guy, trying to find his way at the point guard position. And the big fella has to play well in the middle. This will be a good game. Legacy has a good team. We're in their home city, so I'm looking forward to it. It should be a really good matchup.
Now, a sizable crowd in attendance here tonight in the Fertitta Center. I think I can take a guess at who the talk of the town is, EMONI BATES. What can these fans expect for them tonight?
EMONI's electric. He plays with a chip on his shoulder. For a guy of his size, and when I say size, he's not very bulky, but he's tall and long. He's 6'9", long arms. He's extremely skilled with the ball, and you'll be surprised. He'll be playing with the ball out front. They use a lot of high ball screens and kind of let him get downhill, but he'll shoot the ball from the perimeter as well. And he's just exciting, man. He's gonna play really hard. He's gonna play angry. And I think everybody here will get their money's worth, to say the least.
Now with Bates, Javon, Hannah, and company, this team is going to be a tough horse tonight. Now, if you're Legacy, how are you going to be able to neutralize their game for a fighting edge in this one?
Legacy just has to play the way that they play. They're going to have to play up-tempo. I think they have more depth. They have some really good young guards. They got two guys committed to Prairie View. They have big man is committed to Texas A&M. He's very athletic. They have another guy who has an offer from Georgia. So, they have some players. They played the same Duncanville team that Ipsy played a couple weeks ago and only lost to them by one. So they feel very good about their chances to come in here and win this game. So I think they just got to do what they do, play up-tempo, try to control the pace, slow EMONI down, show them bodies, and make the other guys beat them.
Now let's talk about tonight's keys to the game. Daryl, what are we looking for as far as this matchup is concerned?
Well, if you're playing against EMONI BATES, the first thing you have to do is make every catch tough for him. You're going to have to contest all his shots. You don't want to allow him to get anything one-on-one. He's just too talented, too tall, too skilled, too good, to be honest. So you want to kind of make him play in crowds all night. You want to, crowd the paint, show him bodies, and make the other guys beat you. Again, you want to play up-tempo. They're not a very deep team, Ipsy Prep. So you want to play up-tempo, use your athleticism, use your depth to try to wear them down. And then kind of just, feed off the home crowd, the energy here. It's actually a pretty good crowd. Even for 2020 with everything that we have going on, this is a good crowd. And I think that they'll have, a good contingent here to support them. Just kind of play their game. Don't get caught up in the hype. Don't play one-on-one with EMONI. You don't want to do that. He will win that battle. And do what you do and play a good team game, and they'll have a chance tonight.
So make the move, force them to the outside, and make sure that EMONI BATES gets that ball the least amount of time possible throughout this game. That's the key to Legacy's success tonight.
No question. Anytime you're playing against a great player, you don't want to allow him to beat you. If you're going to try to play him one-on-one, or you're going to allow him to play one-on-one and get a lot of open looks and kind of get going and get it, let him get his own energy, create his own energy, and kind of get the crowd turned to on his side, it can be, advantageous to Ipsy. So, you want to play a good team game, contest all his shots, make all his catches difficult, keep him off the offensive glass, don't let him get out in transition, get anything easy, and make the rest of the other guys kind of show their abilities and their talents and live with that.
Now, you mentioned the depth for Ipsy Prep. One of those beyond EMONI BATES, Dylan Hunter. He leads the team in assists per game at 5. What can we expect from him tonight in the supporting role to EMONI?
He's going to have to score a little bit more. They lost their second leading scorer, so Dylan's going to have to kind of step into that role, and he's going to have to create off the dribble and make some plays for himself as well as his teammates. So I'm expecting him to be a little bit more aggressive early. They'll do some high ball screen stuff with him. He typically comes off and just tries to find his teammates and make the right play, but he'll have to try to score the ball a little bit more, maybe even push the ball in transition and get out and use his athleticism. He's a highly ranked guy. He's played on the USA team. He's supposed, a five-star guy, a guy who's ranked in the top 30 in his classification. So he has the ability. He's probably just going to have to play a little bit above the level offensively that he's played so far this season.
All right. As we get set up for tip-off here, we'll leave you for a little bit of a breather here. When we come back, we'll expect 8 minutes of first quarter action here at the Fertitta Center in Houston. Don't go anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you again to the SUVtv Sports Utility Vehicle. We're just about ready for tip-off here. Ipsy Prep at Legacy. So far, the starters here for Ipsy have been number 1, Dylan Hunter, Raymond Adams, Genesis Kemp, EMONI BATES.
Good energy in the building, man. I'm excited about it.
I'm liking this crowd.
Definitely, and I'm sure, a lot of people have heard about EMONI BATES. They may have seen him once or twice on TV, but I think there's no substitute for seeing somebody in person. And I've seen him in person a couple times. I know you haven't had the opportunity to see him yet. I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. He's as good as advertised.
EMONI BATES, the small forward, projected number 1 in the country. MSU commit class of 2022. Part of that power Hall of Tom Izzo for Michigan State University in 2021 and 2022.
They do not miss in the state of Michigan, man. Really good players that come out of there, for the most part, end up at Michigan State. For Prairie View, we got a couple commitments. We have Brian Miles and PJ Neal. Both of those guys are committed and will attend Prairie View University. Ashton Smith is the big fella in the middle that's committed to Texas A&M. Sir Isaac Heron is the kid who has the Georgia offer. Aaron Scott has an offer from Mount St. Mary's. Sophomore Mason Howell also has an offer from Texas State. So they have some really good players. When you have 5 or 6 Division I guys, as a coaching staff, you feel pretty good coming out the locker room. You feel like you can compete with anyone. They're looking forward to this matchup, and like we said, it's good energy in the building. They've heard a lot about EMONI BATES, but they want to see how good he really is.
As we get set for tip-off, Ashton Smith will meet up with Logan Carson there at center court. And action is underway here. Legacy finds the ball early. Please pass out to Massier.
Ypsi started out in the man-to-man. Going to kind of probably feel Legacy out. Legacy's being very patient on this first possession.
And that's all about the opening minutes of the game is feeling out your opponent and kind of seeing what they're made of. As a 3 goes air ball on the rebound, number 3, Brian Miles.
Great play by Brian Miles. Has a nose for the ball, great rebound and put back there. Great way to start the game. You always want to execute and get a basket early. When you see the ball goes in, it kind of feeds into your energy on the defensive end.
And drawing first blood is especially a confidence booster, especially against this team such as Ipsy Prep. Kicked inside. Now for Adams, a shot missed wide. He gets his own rebound, and this one is stolen away.
On the other end, Ypsi with the early turnover, which is what you don't want to do on your first possession. They got fortunate right there because that could have been called out of bounds on Legacy.
Barnes Jr. to inbound it for Legacy here. EMONI Bates right under pressure.
That was a quick 5-second count, wasn't it?
That was.
EMONI, he's got a lot of length, and putting him on the ball can be a little bit intimidating. He did a great job kind of tracing the ball with both hands with a lot of energy and forced an early 5-second count
and
on the baseline out of bounds.
Massey seemed like a deer in headlights there on that inbound.
He did.
Staring down EMONI Bates. Face to face as this one is sent over to Bates himself. He posts up for a fadeaway here. Hit off the rim, no good.
And Ipsy's put in some new sets since the last time I saw him. They're doing some stuff where they're trying to move EMONI around. Last time he was kind of out front a lot, doing a lot of high ball screen, and the defense could load up and kind of see him. Now they're running him off some screens on the baseline, which is good. It makes it a little bit harder for the defense to find him.
P.J. Neal passes it over to Massey. Now by the baseline, Smith goes in for a layup. He's called, and there will be a foul.
And he didn't have much there. Probably didn't want to foul in that situation. Had him on the baseline. He had an awkward angle to the rim. As you can see on the replay, he really didn't have much going here. All he had to do was kind of space him, know his distance. Don't crowd him. Stay in between him and the basket, hands up. Probably could have turned that into a defensive rebound, had opportunity to run. But he'll learn from that situation.
Smith at the line.
Good looking free throws for the big fella.
Makes 2, and they're up 3-0. 6:02 to go. Opening frame here in Houston. Dylan Hunter.
I can see why Texas A&M is excited about Smith, man. He really has a college-looking ready body already. A nice-looking free throw touch.
And EMONI Bates. The bank is open in Houston. And he opens up the scoring for Ipsy.
Ipsy was calling for that basket to count prior to the offensive foul. Oh, the little elevator play. They put in some nice sets to Toddy Money. Nice drive to the rim. Probably should have came to a 2-foot jump stop. He'll learn in those situations that a good defensive team is going to try to draw a charge in that situation.
And Legacy will move the ball quickly around. Miles on the shot. Didn't go through. No basket on the other end of the court. EMONI Bates can't believe it.
Yeah, the Ipsy coaching staff and a lot of fans in the stands are a little confused by this one, as you can see on the SUVtv replay. I'm not quite sure what the ref saw. He put the ball down right away. It looks like 2 steps.
Yeah, I would say.
That looked like a fairly common play to me. But when you're on the road, sometimes you don't get those calls, so we'll see how they respond from that.
Legacy. A lengthy 2 by Aaron Scott. This one goes out. They get the rebound. And Massey will take it beyond the arc. Whips it around to Scott. Battles through traffic. And out for a 3. That's Ashton Smith.
Legacy is not intimidated at all. They've come out and played extremely aggressive. They have a lot of athleticism. They have a lot of guys that can play, and they jump right on them. I think Ipsy's going to have to get a timeout here. Try to settle their guys down and get past that call because they think they should be, worst case scenario, down 8-2.
Ipsy calls a timeout. Trying to stop the hemorrhaging here.
They are. You can see on the replay, great drive and kick. Big time pass. Where they knock down the 3.
Well,
that was number 2, P.J. Neal, committed to Prairie View, knocked down that 3. Then he came back and got a steal. Very under control, very poised, did a great job attacking the big right here for the drive, for the nice left-handed finish over EMONI Bates.
And Legacy, this team is not a nobody. They could be considered the best collection of Houston area talent. Currently, they sit 5-3 in the TCAL League. This is their 3rd season of action. Specialized school for sports, sports info, statisticians, etc. You name it, the School of Sports Sciences. And they've been rather fortunate in sports themselves. They've won the state football and softball championships in their first year. And they've got a pretty good ball club they've fielded this evening as the inbound comes over to Raymond Adams. Over to the 3 of Kemp. No good. And Legacy will end up with the ball.
They are all over the offensive and defensive glass. You can tell they are well coached and well schooled. And like I said, they have some really good athletes on their team.
And Sir Isaac Herron on the jumper, no good. And a foul will be called on Sir Isaac Herron.
Ipsy is going to have to match their energy and enthusiasm because they're getting every 50-50 ball and they're all over the glass right now. What they have done is done a great job on EMONI Bates. So far, he's only got a couple looks and they've been contested.
EMONI Bates from downtown, no good, and this will end up to Kemp.
This is about as good a start as Legacy could win. I mean, if they could have drawn it up if they could have drawn it up in the locker room, this is exactly what one. Get off to an 8-0 start, make EMONI Bates work for everything that you have, kind of control the offensive glass, play with more energy, be the team that's their aggressor. They've gotten off to a great start.
If you can hold a team such as Ipsy Prep and EMONI Bates to a goose egg with 3:50 go in the first, you're doing something right.
Yes, you are.
A fadeaway shot from Sir Isaac Herron, no good. Picked up at the rebound. EMONI Bates will take this one into the half court.
Good defense.
This is stolen by Legacy. He's in uncontested in with a dunk, Aaron Scott.
And you can tell they are hyped. Look at the energy, man. They are feeling really good about themselves, as they should. Great defensive play, individual defensive play, as you'll see right here on the replay. Had him balled up a half court, snatched the ball away, and you got to know he's athletic, so he might try to come and block it. So he explosive take to the rim with the dunk, and look at the excitement from his teammates jumping behind him and yelling and screaming. You got to love it.
A great shot. And Legacy down 10-0, 3:22. A power move out. No good. The shot from Raven Adams couldn't get there. Throws it out to EMONI Bates from 3. He can't make it in. The rebound swatted away by Sir Isaac Herron.
They are making everything difficult, man. I am really impressed with this start for Legacy right now. I can see how they gave that Duncanville team, who we have a lot of respect for, a very close game, and they said they lost by 1 point.
Well, we came into the week not knowing much about this Legacy team, but they are certainly proving their worth out here tonight.
They were preseason top 5 in the polls in the state of Texas, which obviously we know is a basketball-rich state. So I think a lot of people knew that, this is a team to be reckoned with for sure.
And a fadeaway jumper by Aaron Scott. Couldn't get the bucket.
Scott is one of the unsigned seniors who's highly touted and will have his pick of schools at the end of the year. You can see he has a lot of length. He's a perimeter player, has some bounce to his step, a great defender. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of schools outside the state and inside the state will want his services when we get into the spring signing period.
Sean Phillips caught traveling. 3 Legacy defenders down in deep.
So Ipsy has now changed up. They decided to go to a little bit of an aggressive 2-3, try to slow down this Legacy attack. Maybe force them to a contested jump shot and try to rebound the ball. Rebounding has been a real struggle for them so far. It worked. Forced the easy turnover.
And EMONI Bates on the break. Dylan Hunter almost couldn't get a handle on it. He saves it and throws it out to EMONI Bates. Spins around the defender. Kicks it out. The 3 is good. And they finally get on the board. Ipsy Prep finds the basket 2 minutes to go in the first.
Good individual play by EMONI Bates with the drive. Didn't force the shot. Nice kick out for the wide open three.
And a steal by Hunter. In with a finger roll.
Very crafty play. Wrong foot, wrong hand. Nice finish. High off the glass by Dylan Hunter. And this zone has kind of, what zones do, it slows teams down. They get uncomfortable. They don't really know how to attack it. And now it has made Ipsy their aggressor on the defensive end.
And they've cut the lead in half in just 30 seconds here as Gibson will take it. Now the shot is up from the baseline. Aaron Scott sinks the three.
I like this Aaron Scott kid. I'm kind of surprised that he's not committed or signed anywhere. But the fact that we're in 2020 where college coaches weren't allowed to go see guys in the summertime, so it's going to be some really good players left in the spring, which is atypical to what you normally see.
And a long fadeaway three.
EMONI Bates.
Cooper couldn't make it in an air balls.
EMONI Bates thought he got fouled right there. He's asking the ref. He says he got hit on the wrist, but hey, you're on the road and he'll learn. When you're on the road, you don't get the respect that you get at home, so you got to learn to play through those calls.
Neal will break in the zone. Over to Gibson. Hunter on the press. This shot is up, no good. And Barnes Jr. on the rebound. Takes it over to Hunter, who sits this one for EMONI Bates. It's a little bit airmailed. He still gets it and sinks that bucket.
And right there you see a little bit of the talent and skill that we talked about in the pregame. I mean, that's a difficult catch. Gathers itself and turns into a jump hook going away from the rim. Not a lot of guys can make that shot.
That long reach on the fingers, brings it home, spins around, and able to sink a bucket with two guys on you. That is talent.
No question. And now you see why he has on red shoes so that everybody in the gym knows who he is and everybody else has on black shoes.
And Legacy will have the ball on their own court.
They're going to hold it for
6
one.
seconds to go. Whips it around, Aaron Scott. The three hits the rim, and that'll be the end of the first quarter here. The score a little bit closer than what the game led on to be for most of the quarter. Legacy has a 13-7 lead.
If you're Legacy, you know, obviously you feel good because you jumped out to a great start, but if you're Ypsi, you feel good as well because as poorly as you started, I mean, you couldn't get anything going. You got a bad break on what looked like it should have been a fast break dunk that was called a travel. You kind of settled in. Now you found a zone defense that has slowed Legacy down. You got a couple turnovers, kept them off the offensive glass now. Now you feel like you have some momentum going into the second quarter.
Especially in the final 2 minutes. Even those 7 points in the final 2 minutes, 5 of them coming in right after one another on consecutive possessions. How do you carry that momentum into the second quarter if you're Ipsy?
You know, the game is going to have ebbs and flows, and, you know, you kind of can feel the energy going one way or the other. When you make a couple baskets, get a couple stops. So, you know, now, once you see the ball go in, it usually feeds into the other end of the court as well. Now you have more energy on the defensive end. And I think, you know, Ipsy depends on EMONI to score kind of to give them some energy. Plus, you got Dylan Hunter, who was able to get a steal and an easy basket. Those are their two main guys who have to play well for them to have a chance.
And we look to get set. Start of the second quarter here.
Looks like it'll be Ipsy's ball at half court to start the quarter.
And Marlon Barnes Jr. on the inbound. And back to Dylan Hunter.
Position, Ipsy.
Breaks in, drives to the basket, deflected by Sir Isaac Heron.
Sir Isaac Heron, man, he is an athlete. I could see why Georgia has offered him. I'm surprised that he's a guy that's still on the board as well because he's been all over the defensive. His head's been on the rim on a couple of these block shots.
And the inbound to Marlon Barnes Jr. sinks the three from the baseline, and it's a three-point game.
Just like that, Ipsy's in the game, and now they're feeling good about themselves.
Legacy still leading in possession as this one is out to Massey. The shot up by Sir Isaac Heron. Didn't go, and it's Ipsy's ball. Takes the three, and it'll be air ball.
And I think they'll live with him taking that shot. He made a deep three from the corner early. I like EMONI Bates playing unselfish early. Nice pitch ahead. Not trying to force it, going to let the game come to him.
And Legacy.
Foul call, Ipsy. And Ipsy has a tendency to do this. This is second time I've seen them on the road. They get a little frustrated with the call sometimes. They just got to understand that when you're on the road, every call is not going to go your way. If you just concentrate on playing the game, doing what you do, that it'll all balance out in the end. Nice made free throw by Massey. He's a good little player, man. Has a good size. Very
6'5",
poised.
the senior. As he looks to take the second of the 3 free throws.
They've been on a little bit of a scoring drought. Those are 2 big free throws for them.
Huge. 15-10, 7:01 to go in the second quarter. Ypsi. To Sumlin.
Legacy went to a little bit of a 2-2-1 press there.
And the pressure forces.
Ended up forcing a turnover, so good call by the coaching staff.
Aaron Scott on the pressure there. Forcing that turnover.
And this Legacy coaching staff is very experienced. Their head coach, P.J. Cousinard, played at Wichita State. Chip Cartwright played at UCF. Lamar Sanders played at Lamar University. So they've played at the next level, and they're doing a great job preparing these guys to play in college.
Massey on the short jumper. 4-2. And Ipsy Prep will be called for traveling. Sean Phillips took an extra step.
And Sean's going to be a good player. Like all bigs, especially guys who are 6'10", 7 foot at a young age, it takes them a little bit of time and to get comfortable with their back to the basket because they're obviously not used to playing against guys their size as well. And he's coming. He's getting better every game. Just has to be patient, understand it's going to be a little bit of a process, and just keep rim protecting, rebounding the ball, and everything else will take care of itself.
And this basket is deflected by Sir Isaac Heron again.
Third block of the night, and all of them have been highlight blocks. He is all over the place. Look at the effort and energy. I mean, he's 3 or 4 steps behind that guy. This is just all effort and energy right here.
The
Great
air
timing.
he can achieve and the wingspan as EMONI Bates from downtown sinks that 3. And stops the bleeding for Ipsy Prep. They're within 4 at 17-13 with 5:48 to go. Legacy whips this one around from deep, and it hits the rim. The rebound is up, inbounded by EMONI Bates, and it will be taking the length over to Dylan Hunter, who tees one up. And a long arc. The layup, no good.
Great block by Dylan Hunter because they had bad floor balance and spacing right there, but he ended up saving a basket. That could be huge down the stretch.
And it was a far pass. That was difficult for Miles to reach. And a long 3 attempted there by Gibson. No good. The rebound, they end up getting it, and it's going to be off EMONI Bates' fingers out of bounds.
They have controlled the offensive glass. If Ipsy wants to win this game, they're going to have to find a way to box out, keep these guys off the glass, and limit them to 1 shot. They're struggling with that baseline out of bounds, aren't they? It's the second time they had an issue. They had a 5-second count earlier. That time they ended up having to throw the ball in the backcourt.
Little bit of hiccups from this Legacy side as it spits out of the hands of Massey and into the hands of Sumlin.
This zone has really bothered Legacy. Great change of pace by the coaching staff.
EMONI Bates makes a move, takes up the shot. No good. They get the rebound, spins it wide. No good on that one. And we'll have to go with that possession scoreless. Legacy working the ball.
Good pass.
Inside. And they'll get the foul on EMONI Bates.
Great ball movement. Good extra pass up top. You'll see on the swing right here on the replay. Nice extra pass right here. He could have forced it. Drove to the basket. Great look down low. Would have liked him to go up a little bit quicker, but still was able to draw the foul, and now he's try to capitalize and make these 2 free throws.
Sir Isaac Heron nails this one home.
A little bit of an awkward shot, kind of a flick.
Well, you have to be thinking out of a performance, 3 first-half blocks and stellar ones at that, like highlight reel defensive efforts here. You have to think that he's popping up on some people's radar tonight.
Yeah, I mean, like we talked about it in the pregame. He already has 1 high major offer, and I wouldn't be surprised if some more
Trickled in.
Exactly. You know, it's just a strange year. You know, a lot of guys weren't able to be seen in the spring or the summer. So guys are going to end up probably getting offers a little bit later than normal. And when you're a big with athleticism that can rim protect, usually somebody will give you a scholarship because that's always needed. That's always a necessity.
Monty Bates from the distance, didn't get it, but the rebound is picked up by Carson Cooper.
Now they're imposing their will on offensive glass, kind of taking a chapter out of Legacy's book.
And that is Carson Cooper's first field goal of the season. He was 0 for 4 prior. P.J. Neal kicks it out.
And they have really struggled trying to find a way to get to the interior of the zone. They're ended up making a lot of passes around the perimeter. They're taking a lot of three-point shots, and they've also had 4 or 5 careless turnovers. So if I'm Ipsy, I want to stay in this zone as long as possible. And it's really giving them a chance to kind of stay in this game and manage the game because Legacy jumped out to a huge lead early.
Dylan Hunter over for Monty Bates, who sends this one back. Now Dylan Hunter makes a move, kicks it out. Over to Barnes Jr., who sinks the 3.
That's his second 3 of the game, and that was great patience, great ball movement. Dylan Hunter was able to use the high ball screen, get into the paint, and kind of get the hockey assist. He made a great read, threw it to the shake man, who was able to get one more swing to the corner for a wide open jump shot. Great offensive possession for Ypsi.
And now Legacy will take it. Loops it around for Gibson, who finds Heron. Couldn't make the basket. The rebound comes out to Emoni Bates.
And this is where he's dangerous. He's usually very aggressive in transition. I'm kind of surprised he tried to pass that one up. He usually takes advantage of those opportunities when he gets them in transition.
A little bit of a miscue and a mistimed effort there. A turnover, and it will go Legacy. Drives in, an excellent block there by Carson Cooper. But Legacy will hold on, takes the jumper, and Neal will get the 2-pointer.
I like Neal. I think Prairie View got a good player. He's very poised, under control. He's a lefty, which always makes it a little bit more difficult for people to know how to guard you and kind of, you know, it's a little bit of an awkward game. He's very, very patient and kind of knows what he's trying to get. Nice response by Dylan Hunter there, though. Big-time shot.
Off the spin and the bucket, and that'll be Ipsy's Prep's first lead of the game. The score, my apologies, 21-20. Legacy still holds that lead. 2:14 to go in the second. We'll have a timeout.
Great refusal of the screen by Dylan Hunter into a spin move. Nice extension to almost a kind of a fadeaway jump shot. Very tough shot. And they're going to need more of that tonight.
One more look at that block by Carson Cooper. He's finally getting some minutes.
And that was Neal on the other end prior to the Dylan Hunter shot with a little bit of a fadeaway of his own on Neal. On Dylan Hunter, so they're kind of going back and forth. This is the baseline on bounce, the earlier pass to Emoni Bates. And he has range in the gym range. As soon as he steps in the gym, he can make it from everywhere.
Boy, that's deep, huh?
And with size and length, he's trying to get himself going. That's the little pat that Kevin Durant gives himself when he's trying to get himself going too. And I'm pretty sure that's who Emoni patterns his game after. Because there's very few guys that are 6'9", 6'10", that are true wings, but Emoni is one of those guys.
He has the pedigree and the track record to prove it so far. There's a reason why he's atop so many lists.
2 minutes left in this game. In this half. This is a very low-scoring half, and been too many runs. There goes Dylan Hunter again. That's where he's been.
Steal.
He's made a huge impact on the defensive end.
Now from Money Bates charging in, banks it off, and he couldn't get it down, but the foul gets called.
And he had Carson running hard right there. I thought he could have gave that one up, but I think he's at the point now where he's trying to kind of get himself going. He was able to get to the rim, draw a foul, and that's usually a play that he usually finishes and turns into an and one.
Money Bates at the line.
Been a very quiet half for a player of his stature.
He leads the team in free throw percentage. He's batting a 750, 21 from 28 made from that position. And now 22 from 29. Let's see if he can make it 23. He does.
I thought you were going to give him the announcer curse right there, but he was able to fight through it and make it.
He shows confidence on the court. I show confidence on the broadcast here.
Oh!
Won't make that mistake again.
He
and
blew a
we have an
wheel.
altercation. He blew a tire out there to EMONI BATES.
And that's a similar situation to the one that they called a travel on earlier, coming from a little bit different direction. Earlier, he put it down and then jumped. This time, he kind of tried to take off without, but the coaching staff doesn't want to come out because they don't want him to come out the game. They
And
want
from
to see if
that
he's
camera
okay.
angle there, he looks like to be in some pain here.
Here we go on the SUVtv replay. Great pass ahead. Oh, and yeah, he just twisted it when he planted. I think he'll end up being okay, though. But anytime you see a little bit of an injury, it takes the air out the gym. Good to see him get up and walk off.
Giving the thumbs up over there, making sure.
He wants to
lets
stay in and
everybody
shoot
know
the free
that-
throws, but they're going to have to call timeout if they want to keep him in the game because the coaching staff and trainers came out.
He seems to be laboring that left knee.
I think it scared him more than anything. Now he'll have to come out just for a second, kind of just to see how he's doing. They don't want to waste the time out here. They'll talk to him on the side, make sure he's okay, and they'll probably sub him back in next dead ball.
Yeah, Jamal Sumlin at the line. Taking another look at EMONI BATES here.
That's one of the best subs you can get when you know you're subbing in for the free throw. The guy who just got fouled, you didn't even do anything. You get to come in and get 2 easy points. I'd be pretty excited about it. Oh, he doesn't take advantage of it, only makes 1.
You want to talk about broadcasters' curses here.
There you go. I'll show you how to do it.
And this one, Genesis Kemp finds the ball and banks one in on the layup. And Ipsy Prep expands on their lead. It's 25-21 in favor of Ypsi with $1:26 to go.
And Genesis Kemp is there. He's their X factor. He's their kind of hustle guy. Does a lot of different dirty work. Played really well against ISA in their last outing out in Ohio. And I was expecting him to have a good night tonight. Good to see him get an early basket.
Now works it down deep, and Sir Isaac Heron will have himself a dunk. Making waves on both ends of the court on defense and offense.
I think that was Ashton Smith right there. And I think
That
Texas
is
A&M, they got a good one coming in. We saw a point guard that they have playing, Manny. I don't want to mess up his last name. In the last game when we were in Dallas, they got a really good class coming in, and I hope the people in Texas know that. You know, he's doing a good job over there bringing in a good recruiting class.
And Sean Phillips sinks this one from the foul line. He expands on Ipsy's lead. And a long shot from downtown of Jalen Gibson. My apologies.
Ooh. They're attacking Sean Phillips in there. I love to see it. Sean Phillips is a big boy, too.
6'10".
Great hands in there to snatch the ball out of his hands. And, I mean, look at the aggression that he goes straight to his chest. And I think he was thinking dunk that. And Sean Phillips had he had other thoughts.
He draws the foul, surrenders a trip to the free throw line by Jalen Gibson.
Substitution for Ipsy Prep, number 5.
Jalen Gibson's played well, man.
Number 21.
It's another unsigned senior. They have a very senior-laden team, so I could see why, you know, they've done well early and why people have so much respect for their program. Anytime you have a lot of seniors in your roster, there's no substitute for experience. They've been in a lot of different situations.
7 seniors on that team.
Yeah. EMONI BATES is back in, so I think he was just a little more scared than actually hurt, which is good. He seems to be walking with no limp. And, you know, we're excited to have him back out on the court.
Dylan Hunter will cross the center court line, spins around, Massey on the pressure here. Excellent move by Hunter. Whips it around to EMONI BATES.
It's like they're trying to hold for the last shot.
Donald Scott, and we have the foul called.
The legacy bench didn't like it, but that was definitely a foul. I think there's no bonus though, so they'll be taken out on the side with 3 seconds left in the half. EMONI's telling him he's going to hit him and come for a handoff.
EMONI's got the buzzer beater. Can he make it? He does!
I don't know if it counted though. Did they count it? It
I
looks like the refs counted.
believe
Yeah, that's
from
tough.
my eyes, he got that shot off before the red lights lit.
That's almost from half court too, off of a shot fake. That's a very difficult shot.
Incredible range, incredible precision, and incredible timing.
Look at the replay. Great camera work.
And Ipsy Prep will come into the half.
Here goes the
5-point
angle where we'll be able to
advantage.
see. We'll be able to see if the red light comes on prior to. It's going to be close. I think it's.
He's got that off.
Yeah, I think they're going to count it.
And it'll be halftime. We'll join you in just a little bit. Don't go anywhere as we have 16 more minutes of action coming up. But before that, we got the halftime report. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to SUVtv, the sports utility vehicle. It is halftime here. Winding down the minutes to the second half tip-off between Ipsy Prep and Legacy. Ipsy Prep start off slow. A 10-0 deficit to start this one. Massive defensive and offensive efforts by Legacy early on, but that was met with resistance and the comeback from Ipsy. What have we seen so far?
So, like you discussed, Legacy jumped out to an early advantage. Ipsy just couldn't get in a flow. Early travel call on EMONI BATES that, seemed like it was a wide open dunk that was called a travel. But then EMONI kind of did what he does. He made a three off the baseline out of bounds. The one he made going into the half off of the shot fake from almost half court, which is a shot that a lot of people can't do, gave them a huge momentum boost. And, if the scoreboard wasn't up, it seemed like Legacy was the better team the whole half. But at the end of the day, the points is what counts, and Ipsy's up by 5. So EMONI had 10 points. Like we said, he made 2 threes, made a couple free throws. Also had 5 turnovers, a couple travels, but he was able to get 4 rebounds as well. Dylan Hunter was huge. He had a couple steals in that zone. The zone is kind of really what shifted the whole momentum of the game. When they went to that 2-3, that's kind of an aggressive 2-3 at the top, where they're forcing that guard who's in the center of the court to kind of try to be aggressive and beat them up the middle versus passing the ball around the perimeter. Legacy hasn't figured out exactly what to do, how to attack it. And it also allowed Ipsy to defensive rebound because Legacy was getting every rebound early in the game.
Taking another look at EMONI BATES' buzzer beater. 3-pointer from way back.
And I don't know if they could have played it any better. I guess the only thing they could have did, that was the baseline out of bounds right there where EMONI made. But the only thing they could have did is kind of stay down on the ground. But, when it's late in the clock, it's hard not to try to contest one of those shots. This is the early one, the first one he got to kind of get himself going.
We talk about the athleticism here. That was off a pass that was stretched out to his fingers.
It was a hard pass to catch.
It was a missile.
Yeah.
And he was able to grab it on his right hand, swing it around, battle the 2 defenders, and quickly tee that shot up with barely looking at that basket.
And on the other end, P.J. Neal played really well. He was 3 for 3, 7 points. He also had some turnovers as well. But I thought he was really solid, made good decisions with the ball. Again, he's going to Prairie View. EMONI BATES is committed to Michigan State, so we got some good players out here tonight.
Local boy from the Heights, P.J. Neal. Prairie View A&M, located just about a 45-minute drive outside of downtown Houston. And Legacy will start off the second half here. Aaron Scott of the inbound, and he regains control but sends it in.
Wow, and they went big. They put EMONI on the top of the zone. And that's what the zone wants you to do. They want you to pass the ball around the perimeter, take long jump shots, hopefully box you out and hold you to one shot. And if that's what happens, then you've done your job in the zone.
And now Dylan Hunter finds Amani Brooks outside the paint. He's battled, takes it in. He draws the foul. The basket is no good.
I think Aaron Scott's done a good job on him. I mean, he's made him work for everything. That was another tough shot. You probably don't want to foul in that situation. It was going to be a running kind of one-handed hook shot. You just got to be disciplined and not foul him and make him make the shot over you. And if he makes it, you just live with it. He's the kind of guy, he wants to get to the free throw line because, 1, he's a good free throw shooter. But 2, just anytime you're a scorer, when you see the ball go in, it kind of gives you energy and kind of gives you juice.
The local buzz on Aaron Scott. He's, quote, another nice small forward, local from the Klein Oak travel team. And he's making an effort out here tonight.
I think he's a good player, man. And again, I would not be surprised if he ends up going to a really good program at the end of the year.
And this one wide open spaces. Aaron Scott out to Pasher. He couldn't sink that 3, and it'll be Ipsy's ball.
He's settling a little bit. He probably could have attacked right there, that closeout, and get to the rim and use his length, but it's hard to pass up those open jump shots, even though that's what the zone wants you to do.
And this pass. Dylan Hunter tried to inbound it, try to save it from going out of bounds, but it reached into the midst of Legacy. But no matter, it will find the opposite end of the court, and Legacy Prep will take it
Good
open
pass.
and Carson Cooper on the dunk. And the alley-oop, the setup from EMONI Bates. That's another assist for him tonight.
He's got some good energy and some juice, too. EMONI Bates has showed his ability to be a bit of a playmaker today. You know, he's typically known as a scorer, but this time he kind of draws the defense to him, gets the big to come over Ashton Smith, Texas A&M commit, draws him and makes a nice pass to Carson Cooper for the athletic finish. And you can see the whole team is excited. I love to see a guy make a pass to someone, they get a dunk, and he's more excited than the guy that dunked it.
Great looks over there. Carson Cooper coming into this one. Only one game played.
Yeah, that gives them anytime you can add some more height and depth, you know, that can just make your team that much better, because now Sean Phillips doesn't have to play so many minutes, and he can come in and play with the same energy and enthusiasm in a shorter period of time and probably get more done.
It's great to see the confidence from EMONI Bates as he steals this one. He's got an open lane, takes it, dunks it for the jam.
And that's his patented dunk. The one that they call a travel early. I guess the officials have adjusted to him because I don't think it was a travel early and it's not a travel now. But when you look at it, you can put him at the top of a press, and he can slide his feet and use his length. And it has just really got Legacy flustered right now. They have no response for the zone or the full court pressure that Ipsy has applied.
And a wild play. Carson Cooper ends up with the ball in the defensive zone, gets pressed by two defenders, and it ends up getting kicked out of bounds by Legacy. And
look at the anticipation.
Carson Cooper set up again.
Wow.
He's got two dunks.
I mean, that's 3 dunks back to back to back. They're up 13 just like that. Legacy doesn't know what's going on. You can tell they're shell-shocked right now. They're just trying to find a way to get an easy basket, see one go in.
Deer in headlights, see if they can cut this run down. Here's the 3, and that'll do it. Aaron Scott on the shot.
And they needed that. That's his second 3 of the night. He's been one of the few guys. P.J. Neal made 1, and he's made 2, but they've struggled from the perimeter so far. And now it's good to see them, after the made basket, go into a little bit of pressure of their own.
And it looks like we've got a foul. Or no.
Yeah, I called foul, but I like to see that Legacy still back in their pressure package, making it tough for everyone to make a catch. A great defense by Scott again.
This inbound, fortunately tipped from Ipsy by Aaron Scott on Legacy. It'll remain their possession. Dylan Hunter ends up with the inbound.
So it looked like just a little bit of tugging pressure. They just want to make it a tough catch, and then they went to man-to-man.
EMONI Bates on the spin-around. Can he finish it? He cannot. And Carson Cooper on the inbound, but he couldn't get all of it on his mitts.
Carson Cooper has played well, man. I like his energy in the second half. 2 dunks. He's all over the offensive glass. He's played really well today.
And you can tell, as soon as that first dunk went in, his confidence shot up like a rocket.
It did.
And that's good for this team, and that's why he's getting more minutes. This one will count.
And Legacy did what their best offense was in the first half. Their best offense in the first half was get it up on the rim and go offensive rebounding and try to find a way to put it back in. I mean, it's amazing to see the ebbs and flows of a game. I mean, they scored 10 points probably in the first 2 minutes of the game, and they scored 18 points since then. They've really struggled to put the ball in the basket.
And likewise, you have Ipsy Prep starting out stone cold, and they catch a little bit of fire end of that first quarter, and then they're able to build on it, capitalize on the second, and then absolutely unleash here in the third.
EMONI Bates has put on the show, and he's won the crowd over too. You see the ball handle display he just put on?
Absolutely nuts. I'm enjoying every second of it here in the broadcast booth. Out of bounds on Legacy here. Dylan Hunter on the inbound. Sets this one up for EMONI Bates. And back over to Hunter.
Looks like they're going to go inside to Sean Phillips. Good defense.
Another block by Ashton Smith, and down the other way, number 2 will get the finger roll. P.J. Neal, the 6'3" senior for Legacy.
Great play by Aaron Scott, though, to stay under control after he got the steal, make a nice, easy, create a nice, easy basket for P.J. Neal. And then he's back on the defensive end, guarding the hardest guy, you know, the toughest guy in the gym to guard.
And the floater from EMONI Bates. That looked effortless. It was like the ball was a feather.
You just don't see the guys that size able to make plays like that.
And EMONI Bates there on the rebound to get that straight ball. He posts one up, couldn't get it in. The rebound, he gets his own, spins around, finds a lane, couldn't get it in. The foul is called. The basket won't count.
I mean, just like that. I mean, he goes from struggling early. He didn't score probably in the first 5 or 6 minutes of the game to now he's almost at 20 points already.
Absolute effortless on that floater.
For Ipsy Prep, shooting 2.
And he has 2 shots to show for it now. Ipsy Prep now takes an 11-point lead.
You can see why people are excited about him and why he's so highly touted, so highly ranked. What I like the most about him is, as good a player as he is, I love the energy and enthusiasm that he always brings to the court. Because, you know, some guys can be cool and try to play smooth. I think he plays with a chip on his shoulder, and every night he wants to prove that he's ranked and he deserves the ranking that he is.
And that can keep a guy centered, anchored, and that driving determination where some guys would maybe go number 1 and they could either crater based on the pressure, or you have a guy like EMONI Bates who fights for it and constantly through every game tries to improve himself, tries to improve this game, and let the world know that he means business and he is for real.
Oh, it's definitely the right approach, and that's the only way that you really can approach it, because if you get comfortable and complacent, the guys behind you are going to be hungry, and they're going to be the predators, and they're going to come after you. And I've seen it time and time again. You know, guys end up peaking out when they're ranked high, but they don't work and they don't get better, and then the guys behind them end up catching them. That's not the case with EMONI Bates.
And likewise, even if you don't get shell-shocked, like you said, if you get a little bit laissez-faire with it, you know, you've got a lot of guys who are hungry, and you got to watch your back on that.
You do.
And EMONI Bates certainly is keeping his foot on the gas pedal.
Careless turnover right there by Dylan Hunter.
And this ball goes over to Legacy. Scott for the long distance 3 hits the rim, and it will end up in the midst of Ipsy Prep. Dylan Hunter on the defensive rebound.
And I know Scott's made a couple threes, but I'm pretty sure the Legacy staff would like to see them play inside out and get something going to the basket, because the three-point shot is what Ipsy wants them to take.
What a move by Sumlin, and it's batted in for the rebound. Ipsy Prep now up 14.
That two-headed monster, Sean Phillips and Carson Cooper, has been really good tonight.
And PJ Neal with the answer for Legacy. Cuts the lead down to 11. 2:25 to go here in the third. Ipsy Prep has the ball. EMONI Bates putting on a move, breaks the ankles of Gibson, sends it out. An excellent inbound by Sumlin, and EMONI Bates just couldn't get the handle on it.
Good defense by Gibson right there, because that was a great give and go, but way to stay with the play and ended up smacking off EMONI Bates' knee and forcing a turnover and getting a stop that Legacy really needed. That's EMONI Bates' dad, who's also coach of the team right here. Done a great job mentoring his son and kind of helping him develop into the player that he is.
The shot was up. The rebound from Scott, no good. And Neal will take it outside of the perimeter. Kicks it over to Morris. Now over to Neal, who sends it over to Scott. Hits the rim. The rebound, nothing doing. It was close by Gibson.
Gibson tried to give the crowd something right there.
Just couldn't get all of it. And we'll have some bodies laying down on the floor.
Substitution for Legacy, number 32.
Almost a big-time highlight tip dunk by Gibson right there. Ended up being an out-of-bounds play where Ipsy will try to continue to build on this lead of 11 points that they have right now.
Now Kamari Joplin. Sumlin will take it in. Post up, finds EMONI Bates. Finds the lane, kisses it off the backboard. He looked like he got the corner of it.
Gibson is trying to be a little too aggressive with him, and I understand when you're guarding someone with so much ability, you can do one or two things. You can be passive, aggressive, and kind of back off of them and be intimidated by their ability to make plays off the dribble, or you can be too aggressive and crowd them too much. And if they're crafty enough, which EMONI Bates is, if you get too close to him, you're actually giving him an opportunity to beat you off the dribble with one move and get to the rim, which is what just happened there, and he was able to draw the foul. This is already a 6th free throw of the second half.
And he's made all of them. Legacy will take it, P.J. Neal. Pressure there by Sumlin. Stays with him. Forces the pressure. Excellent turnover, but it's off by Sumlin, and it will be Legacy's ball. Good way to disrupt the play.
Smart play by Neal. He didn't have anything. Instead of turning it over, he threw it off of the defender's knee and was able to retain possession for a sideline out of bounds.
Morris, the inbound pass intended for Sir Isaac Harrigan, couldn't get all of it, and it's over to EMONI Bates.
They just have not been able to answer the zone. I mean, the zone is just giving them fits. They don't know what to do. They cannot get the ball to the high post. They haven't attacked the short corners, and the only shot they're getting are contested three-point shots, and they're getting one shot at the rim, and that's it. Somebody's got to dribble, penetrate, accept the crowds, accept the traffic, and make a play on the interior. They can't just continue to shoot jump shots, or we'll see what we've seen, which is Ipsy continue to build on their lead that's now up to 15.
Another thing to build on, I know we've been talking about him all night. EMONI Bates, his recovery game, his vision, his reaction time is so quick. He bobbled the ball once or maybe twice in there as this one goes in.
Sumlin has played one heck of a game, man. He's kind of done a little bit of everything. They don't run any sets for him. He's made a couple threes early. Now he's getting the offensive rebound and the putback. He's played with great energy. He's kind of stepped in and filled that second scoring role outside of Carson and Sean Phillips, who've done some scoring on the interior as well.
Legacy will have it. Flips it around, and the quarter will expire before the shot will get off by P.J. Neal. The score after 3 periods of play, Ipsy 50, Legacy 33. And we'll be back in a moment. Don't go anywhere. We got one more quarter. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you back to SUVtv. Start of the fourth quarter here. Legacy has the ball, 50-33 the score. Ypsi Prep leads. Good pressure here by Legacy.
That last possession they had going into the break to end the third quarter is probably one of their better possessions. They ended up with a floater or runner kind of around the free throw line. That was an air ball, but it was a better shot than they had been getting against the zone, and I'm hoping they can build on that and kind of, try to make a little run here. They're down 17 now, so every second count, every possession counts.
Sumlin over to Joplin. Now Sumlin will take it.
And with no shot clock, I'm pretty sure that Ipsy will be very patient and take their time. No need to rush. Force any shots here. You don't want to turn the ball over. Get a shot attempt every time, and just mathematically, it'll be hard to lose the game.
And now Legacy finds a lane, an air ball. He gets his own rebound, but falls down Sir Isaac Harrigan, and it'll end up in Ipsy's hands as Dylan Hunter will take it.
Good patience by Dylan Hunter here. But they should try to run. I would try to run 30 to 40 seconds off the clock each possession because it's just no reason to rush with such a huge lead in the fourth quarter. Got to know time and score. Now, you don't want to play stall ball and end up, losing your flow, but at the same time, just don't rush anything, don't force any shots.
The drawbacks of parking the bus is sometimes you can just get too cold.
Exactly. Also, it's a rare time when you look out there and you don't see EMONI Bates out there. They're actually able to give him a little bit of a break. They've had enough. They set him down for a couple quick possessions, and they're going to get him back in. And he doesn't know how to play stall ball, so believe me, when he gets back in, they will play the normal pace that they play.
So we should be expecting some fireworks momentarily.
Substitution for Legacy number 5.
And Sublin
Jonathan Massey for Ipsy number
makes his first
and number 1.
of the 2 shots given.
And when he was out, you can see Sumlin took it upon himself to aggressive drive to the rim, was able to get to the free throw line and make 2 free throws. So you get him out the game and you still build on the lead. That's just huge for them.
Legacy, you can see that Ipsy defense just pushing Legacy out to the East-West game, and their three-pointer game has not been strong.
Only 2 guys have made a 3 tonight. That's Aaron Scott's made 2 and PJ Neal's made 2. Outside of that, they are over for the night. But for whatever reason, they continue to hoist them instead of attacking the rim and trying to play inside out, get some easier shots.
We'll talk about storylines, the ebbs and flows of this game. As we mentioned before at Legacy, as this
There he
one
goes.
is kissed off the glass for Sumlin.
He's given them another scorer and another guy who can make plays off the dribble, which is something they desperately need, and has been great for them tonight.
And we've got a foul on the play. That'll go over to Carson Cooper.
Personal foul, Ipsy Prep.
Had a mismatch.
Carson Cooper is second to personal.
Sir Isaac Heron is one heck of a player, but when he's trying to guard you 25 feet away from the rim and you're smaller and quicker, you have the advantage. So he was just very poised, got to his strong hand, was able to get to the rim and make a nice little soft runner off the glass.
And posting up at the foul line, Jalen Gibson. He makes the first one.
So see if these 2 free throws can stop the bleeding and get Legacy a little bit of momentum right here.
Dylan Hunter is tripped up and fouled by number 5, Jonathan Massey.
And I love to see the pressure, and you got to do something when you're down 20 with 5 minutes left. But you don't want to foul, 80 feet away from the basket. You would like to get a trap here, hopefully force them into some kind of lob pass and see it. There you go. That's what you want to have right there. Now you got to attack the rim, make the refs make a call. Don't settle. There you go.
And
Great
a power
play.
move breaking through the defense. Jonathan Massey gets the layup.
And Massey can do that. He has that ability. He has that length. He has that athleticism. He's got to continue to attack the rim. Now, great play by Massey here
This
again.
one off the feet of Dylan Hunter and goes up. Massey with the shot.
I love to see the block by Dylan Hunter. Way down to give up on the play, turned it over, but instead of, hanging his head, pouting, he sprints back into play. That's a second chase down block that he's made tonight, which is a very difficult play for a guard. As you can see, that was close to a clean block. We'll get a little bit better angle right here on the SUVtv replay. Bad turnover. He's got to create a little bit more space and back dribble. He shouldn't turn it over. But I love the effort and energy right here. And he probably got him on the arm. Probably a good call.
As such, Jonathan Massey will take it from the line. Makes the first.
And you can see the coach telling him, yeah, you got to back dribble, create some space. Don't try to beat him. Back dribble, create that space. Now get by him. Great coaching over there on the sideline by the assistant.
And the second foul shot is up, no good. And given away by Sean Phillips.
They found a little rhythm and momentum here, but, when you're down 17, you can't miss free throws. But I love the scrappiness. I love the heart. I love the fight. Anything can happen. We still got a lot of ball game left, and if they're going to turn the ball over, unforced turnovers in the backcourt, then you have a chance to win. That's why I think the Ipsy staff wants to call timeout, settle their guys down, let them know the situation, just take care of the ball. We can't have turnovers 80, 90 feet away from the rim if we want to win this game.
Now, what do you think the head coach of Legacy is talking to their guys right now? You're down 54-37 with 5:17 to go in the fourth. How do you get your guys rallied and going to be full steam ahead.
We just got to play one possession at a time. You can't. There's no such thing as a 16-point play or 17-point play. Just try to win each possession, speed them up. They turn the ball over. We're kind of getting a little bit of momentum here. We need to make these free throws. That's the first thing we got to do. Let's set back up in the press. Don't foul and see if we can force some more turnovers and speed this game up. We still got a chance to win this. But, again, just play one possession at a time.
Squared up to restart on the foul line. The 6'3" senior hits the first one.
He needs to make both of these so they can set up their pressure, full court pressure defense.
And he makes the second.
Let's see if they'll go to a trap. Yeah, straight to a hard trap. Oh, got a lob pass. That's what they needed. Looks like Gibson might have hurt himself.
Now EMONI Bates breaks to the basket. He banks one in on the layup.
And that's a heartbreaker, man. You almost get a steal on one end. I think Gibson has to come out too. He hurt his hand trying to get that steal. Then EMONI Bates, he's just so skilled, so poised. Drives down the left side. Takes the contact from a shot blocker and just flips it up with his left hand soft off the glass.
And we see Jalen Gibson walking down the tunnel. He's not even going to be looked at on the bench. EMONI Bates.
Again, that's his 8th or 9th free throw that he's made in this half. I'm pretty sure EMONI Bates has outscored Legacy in the second half.
I put money on that. And it goes over to P.J. Neal around the perimeter. Now number 5, Jonathan Massey, gets fouled.
I love his ability to attack the rim and get to the basket. They haven't had any answer for that. He's got to be the aggressor. Don't settle for jump shots. Massey's the guy that I would try to find as I swing the ball around the perimeter and let him attack and make plays from there. He's very unselfish as well.
P.J. Neal on the inbound this one. Overreaching three, but Jonathan Massey no good. They end up with a rebound through traffic, and it's bobbled by a Ypsi player. It looks to be Dylan Hunter, if I'm not mistaken.
And this is Glenn. Glenn is in the yellow shirt. He does a phenomenal job running these events. He had one in one in Dallas. This is his second event that he's had in Houston. And this tournament is this holiday Hoopfest that he's been running now for some time is a big-time event. Everyone here has really enjoyed themselves. We've got great teams. Everything's run on time. Great job of social distancing here. So, Glenn, kudos to you for all that you do for the community and putting on these great events and giving these kids some exposure.
And he's certainly getting the word out. Helped by EMONI Bates here. As we said before, a very nice crowd. And the Fertitta Center is loud, especially whenever it's full. They designed it to be this way.
Beautiful facility. I coached against Houston prior to the new Fertitta facility. And
Hofheinz Pavilion.
Yeah, and it it was a great gym, but I mean, it had not been changed since Phi Slamma Jamma. So it was time for them to upgrade. This is a beautiful facility. They're doing big things. They're not sponsored by Jordan. Kelvin Sampson is one of the best coaches in the country. And to have I don't want to disrespect them, but they're considered a mid-major program just by league affiliation. And to be ranked top 10 in the country is phenomenal. And I think this Houston program is just going to continue to grow and build as long as he's at the helm.
Especially UH is making that push to hopefully get Power 5 and escape that mid-major status. And Kelvin Sampson is certainly one of them. And the one thing that they do have is facilities right from the get-go.
And the football program, has done well as well. So, it's usually based on football and men's basketball. And I think that both of those programs have shown that they can compete with anyone. So I would not be surprised if they end up in a Power 5 conference sooner rather than later. I guess the Big 12 probably would be the best fit.
course, with 2020, everything is up in the air as far as money and realignments are concerned. With
Tomorrow
TV
is
rights
up in the air in 2020. Like, who knows what's going to happen, man? So it's just a blessing to be here, watching basketball live.
And the University of Houston and the Fertitta Center has played great host to us tonight.
They have. Terrific. I really enjoyed myself. And, again, this is a beautiful arena, great crowd. Kudos to Glenn for the Holiday Hoopfest. It's been a big-time event.
And now Legacy tries to break in with the North-South game. Couldn't get it done. The foul is called.
And that's Sumlin again, man. Now he's doing it on the defensive end. He's been all over the place. He has played one whale of a game. He's been very valuable to them. Obviously, EMONI Bates has been the catalyst and the leader. He does so much, and he puts so much pressure on you with scoring. But the guy who's been steady and has kind of can help them continue to build the lead is Sumlin. He's done a whole lot tonight, looking to make 2 free throws here and get this lead back up to 20 points. And it'll be tough to come from down 20 with 3 minutes left when you're playing against a high-powered team like Ipsy Prep.
Jamal Sumlin, listed as 6'2".
I'm not sure if he's 6'2", though. That's one of those heights when they ask you how tall you are and you tell them.
Exactly. I thought it was just the fact that well, one could chalk it up, maybe get away with at least an inch or two on the fact that a lot of these guys, they're 6'9", 6'10" on this Ipsy Prep team.
My family makes fun of me all the time. If you ask me right now, I still say I'm 6'4" ¼ So if you're going to ask me to put something in the media guide, that's what I'm going to say. You better measure me if you want the real height.
Ever since I was little, I always wanted to be 6 foot. Sitting at 5'10", I'm a little bit shy, but I think I can.
Yeah, go ahead and say 6 foot, man.
Well,
Nobody
say
knows.
6'0".
Yeah, you're 6 foot. You just became 6 foot today. Today is the day.
3:08 to go in the fourth quarter. Ipsy Prep up 59-39, up by 20 late in this one, and Sumlin will take his time in the backcourt.
It looks like Legacy's called off the dogs. They're just going solid man-to-man. No more trapping, no more pressing. Just trying to make the game. Great charge right there. Just trying to make the game respectable at this point. What they don't want to do is open up the court and give Ipsy any easier baskets.
Personal foul. Ipsy Prep number 3. Jamal Sumlin, his second personal.
The writing seems to be on the wall for Legacy here.
It's one of the few mistakes that Sumlin has made all night. They actually got sped up. And again, you got to know time to score. No need to rush and try to make a basket there. When you get into the paint and you see a crowd, you got to come to a 2-foot jump stop and just pass it back out, and let's live to play another offensive possession.
And an excellent move by Jonathan Massey. He sinks this one on the fadeaway.
I like Massey a lot, man. If he probably would have driven the basketball and been a little bit more aggressive early, he's one of the few guys on the team that's been able to kind of crack the interior of Ipsy Prep and make plays in the middle. He might have been in foul trouble because he sat out for a while. Everybody else kind of settled for jump shots. He's one of the few guys that stayed in attack mode, and he's played pretty well.
He's a Thomas transfer, a big 6'5" guard, and he's trying to get on the recruitment radar as this three-point shot is made.
And that's Marlon Barnes. He's 3 for 3 tonight from 3. And all of them have been big, and a couple of them have come from EMONI Bates. He draws such a crowd when he drives. All 10 eyes are on him, and he's made some really good passes tonight.
Now, we've seen the average assist per game of EMONI Bates 2.3, but we've certainly seen a lot of more
He's been more of a playmaker tonight. He's played well tonight.
Kamari Johnson for Legacy number 4.
Yeah, it's good to see him, kind of share the ball. I think that's going to make him a better scorer. He's going to get his, but if he can create easy baskets for his teammates, that just makes the game easier for everyone. And that's why they've had such a big lead tonight. He's played really, really well with his team.
And a power move, driving inside the lane, Sir Isaac Heron. He gets fouled, and he'll be shooting at the line. $1:42 to go in the fourth.
The one thing I will give, the Legacy staff has done a good job with this group, though, because they have not quit. They've continued to compete all night. The energy, the effort has been there. They probably just didn't quite execute the way that they wanted to. So unfortunately tonight they just ran into a team that was probably a little bit better than them, and a player that's really talented and kind of put the team on his back. And I think that three-pointer he made going into the half was a backbreaker.
And we can see some of the positives you can take away if you are Legacy. They did take it to them and stunned Ipsy out of the gate for demanding on most of that first quarter, if not all.
Unfortunately, they just weren't able to sustain that level of energy, and they were making baskets early and they were dominating on the offensive glass, but they just weren't able to make shots at a consistent enough rate.
And Dylan Hunter with the move and in.
And he's shown flashes of, that kind of ranking and rating that he has. If they can just get him to be a little bit more consistent, score a little bit more, get to the rim, and have those kind of finishes on a consistent basis, it will benefit him, obviously, but it will benefit the team as well. See, that's the Dylan Hunter right there. That's the young Dylan Hunter. Terrific play 30 seconds before. Now he's in transition, and he dribbles the ball off his foot. But, that's just the maturation of a young player. He'll continue to grow, continue to get better. He's playing on a big stage. Everything he does is magnified, and I think he's embracing that challenge.
1:01 to go. Ipsy Prep getting in some last-minute substitutions.
That was a great finish by Dylan Hunter. That's a great replay, so you can see the nice under-control, poised, left-handed finish that he had.
Legacy works the perimeter and drains that three.
Some of the young guys getting in, getting some action now.
Cortland Thomas, the 6'7" sophomore. Good to see Legacy putting their young guys out.
And for 6'7", man, he has a real nice shooting touch. Kind of surprised he didn't get in earlier. When they were playing against that zone, his ability to stretch the floor might have been beneficial. But, hey, when you're a sophomore, sometimes you got to wait your turn and your opportunity will come. But good to get in and make a basket in a situation like this that can help you have confidence moving forward.
Brian Miles makes the three-point attempt, or the free throw attempt, mind you. And it all comes down to finishing this one out, not to who wins this game, but what the final score will hold. As we seem to have a discussion with the referees and the coaching staff of Legacy.
Unfortunate to have a technical foul when you're up 16 with 39 seconds left. Okay, they didn't have somebody in the book. Playing some bench guys, didn't have them in the book, didn't anticipate them getting in tonight. But it happens.
He came to expect more of a tighter game in this one?
I'm assuming they did. We talked about it earlier. Legacy played Duncanville, who's a very good team. Both of these teams have played them, and Duncanville kind of controlled that game and won it going away versus Ipsy. And they only beat Legacy by 1 point. But as you can see, everything in basketball is all matchups. I'm assuming Duncanville, they don't really play zone. They play all man-to-man. And that zone is kind of really what sparked the Ipsy win tonight.
And a foul call. Jaden Gallion, the 5'11" sophomore, will step to the line after his two-point bucket attempt was interrupted.
He's trying to come in and get his buckets, man. He forced one there in the crowd, was very fortunate that that the referees gave him a call right there, as that was a bit of a force, but he will go in the scorebooks tonight. He was in attendance. Makes both free throws. They're actually making the score look a little bit more respectable than it probably was.
And double coverage. He escapes it, and it's over to Barnes Jr.
And I'm pretty sure Ipsy will just hold it out for the last 8 seconds.
Running the ball and killing time as this one goes down to 4 ticks remaining.
Oh,
We'll take one last shot, and it'll be floated into the hands of Legacy. Mason Howell, but that won't matter as the final score, Ipsy Prep 64, Legacy 50. Well, dissecting the game, what have we seen so far, and what can we expect from Ipsy to build off of this as they head into their next game, which, if I am not mistaken, is on the 22nd against St. Vincent St. Mary's of Ohio.
Well, I think Ipsy will be pleasantly surprised by how they played against a good team tonight. I mean, this is a good ball club that they beat. They played really well as a group. EMONI Bates was the star of stars as usual, scoring the ball. But as we talked about, he also distributed, he rebounded. They probably found a little bit of a defensive identity with that zone, with the aggressiveness and the length at the top. They were able to force turnovers, so I'm sure they'll go back to that to the next game and kind of see if they're able to use their defense to force offense the way they did tonight. I think a surprise was Carson Cooper. He played really well on the interior. Sean Phillips played well. Now you got a two-headed monster, two guys who are 6'9", 6'10", and giving you some interior scoring and some rim protection. Then you had Sumlin, who played really well on the perimeter. Dylan Hunter showed you some glimpses. So they're just going to continue to build and get better. They're getting used to playing with each other. They're only 4 games in, a brand new program. So they're all filling each other out, and almost all their games are road games, which is very difficult for some young guys. I think they'll be very, very happy with the way they played and looking forward to their next game.
One last look at the highlights here as we say goodbye, say goodnight, and wish you farewell here. From all of us here at SUVtv, the sports utility vehicle, I'm Ken Whetstone alongside Daryl LeBerry, saying good night and take care.